Hi everyone! If you're somebody who dreams of becoming a flight attendant but you don't know where to start, well, here are 5 tips for you so you can now start preparing for your dream job. If you are new to this channel, my name is Mae Ville. I was a flight attendant. I flew for Emirates Airline for 12 years, and becoming a flight attendant was also my dream job. It was my dream since I was 10 years old. Whether you are currently employed, a fresh graduate, a college student, or even a high school student, there are a lot of things that you can do now to prepare for that dream job. So, let's get started. Number 1, narrow down the airlines that you want to work for. The goal here is for you to be very specific because there are hundreds of airlines out there. So do you want to work in a domestic airline first, or do you want to go straight to international? And say you prefer international. What are those airlines? Are those Asian airlines, Middle Eastern airlines? If it's a Middle Eastern airline, again, the choices are many. We have Emirates Airline, Etihad Airways, Qatar Airways, Oman Air, Saudia Air, or if you want to go Asian, of course, we have Philippine Airlines, Cathay Pacific. Also, there's Asiana, Korean Air, Singapore Airlines. So again, there are a lot of airlines available out there. So you have to narrow down who do you like. And to make it easier for you, as a bonus tip, you might want to search for the top 10 or the top 5 airlines in the world. You could go down to even the top 3 airlines. At least you know your focus will be those airlines. And having to know these airlines, you can start from there. Number 2, do your homework. I say do your homework because each airline has different set of requirements. This is your chance to also realistically and honestly assess, do I fit the criteria? You might want to assess, do I fit the height requirements? How about the arm's reach? These are basic and non-negotiable requirements of airlines. So this is your chance to assess. And also, upon looking at the requirements, you might want to ask yourself, what do I need to do in order to fit the criteria? As an example, there are airlines who requires you to speak a certain language for you to be accepted. And you might want to ask yourself, do I know this language, or am I willing to learn this language? When I joined Emirates, I only knew Tagalog and English. When I left Emirates 12 years later, the languages that I knew were English and Tagalog. Well, okay, I do know some basic greetings of certain languages, but that's it. I cannot read, I cannot speak fluently other languages. And I think that's the good thing with Emirates Airline and most of the Middle Eastern airlines. They do not require you to speak a third language, such as Arabic for that matter. However, knowing how to read and speak another language will always be a plus. But, if you're somebody who knows another language, I want you to consider it first before writing that in the CV. I want you to be 100% confident and certain that you can really write and speak in that language. Because if I may share an experience, in Emirates Airline, the passenger address or the PA usually has a basic of 2 languages. The PA will always be in Arabic and then in English. And depending on certain locations, then Emirates will add a third PA, which will be the language of that country. And as an example is Germany. So that would be Arabic, then English, and finally German. So I remember there was a time we were doing a flight to Munich, Germany, and usually during the briefing, the purser or the manager of the flight would ask, who's going to do the PA in Arabic? Who's going to do the PA in English? Usually it's the purser, but sometimes the purser will hand it to any other crew who's willing to read it. And she asked who wants to do the German PA. So this girl was working in business class, took the PA sheet. She was not from Germany or any German-speaking country, but she claimed that she could speak, read, and write German, and it was in her file. So we did the flight, and then came the time when we landed in Germany. She started reading the PA in German, and when she started talking, we could see and hear the German customers looking at each other and giggling. When the aircraft came to a complete stop, we asked some of the passengers what made them react that way, and they were giggling, and they said how she read it and how she said it was actually not the way it was supposed to be. So again, this is why I say it's good to know another language. However, before you write that in your CV, please be 100% certain that you can actually read and write and even converse in that language. Number 3, identify the common requirements and ask yourself, What can I do now to position myself? Examples are A, your smile is very essential when you become a flight attendant. So you might want to assess or maybe ask your dentist, do I need to have braces? Or maybe you need to visit the dentist to do some fillings. And I'm serious, toothache is one of the most painful thing you don't want to experience while working up in the air. So make sure that again, your smile is perfect. So ask your dentist, do I need to wear braces or do I have any tooth that needs any fillings? So again, it is important for you to have a healthy set of teeth when you become a flight attendant. Another example, tattoos that are visible while wearing your uniform are definitely a no-no. So if you're somebody who's been dreaming of getting that tattoo in the wrist or in the arms or in the ankle, for example, maybe this is the time for you to decide to move it somewhere else. But if you think you can hide it and you want to risk it, well then go for it. And I say that because I have flown with female colleagues who had tattoos and their tattoos were in the ankle. What they would do is cover it with a concealer. However, they would say that when they joined Emirates, when they applied as a cabin crew, no, they did not have the tattoo yet. They only had the tattoo once they got hired. So maybe that's also something you want to consider. Number 4, build your CV as early as now. This is in particular for those who are fresh graduates, or you could be in college, or you could still be a high school student. You can actually position yourself now. Write down all your academic or social achievements that are relevant to the position that you are applying for, which is as a cabin crew. If I was a recruiter, I would want to hire an applicant who is a team player, who can perform well under pressure, or somebody who can communicate well. So if you led your school play and you were the director, for example, state it and also state your responsibilities. If you were part of the debate team, write it down. It will portray that you are able to express your thoughts and your emotions in an organized manner. Achievements such as academic award or awards from competitions included. If you have a part-time experience, write it down also. Bottom line, collect powerful experiences. And as you do this, you're not only building a strong CV, you're also building a stronger you. And also, if you're already working, apart from stating your job and its description, you might want to also include your contributions. Did you introduce a new system? Did you lead a new department? Did you spearhead a new project? Whatever it is that you contributed, write it down, because this will also reflect that you are somebody who is not just qualified, but you are somebody who will also add value to the company that you will be working for. As the recruiter looks at your CV, he or she will see through these contributions and see how you are as a person. It will reflect if you're somebody who's proactive, resilient, driven. And lastly, number 5, be mindful of your social media accounts. This is true. Many employers will look at your social media accounts when reviewing potential candidates because remember, once an airline hires you, you are already representing their brand. So it is important that what you represent is also in line with their values. So having said that, take this opportunity to use these social media platforms to also showcase your talents or your skills or your expertise. You could be someone who's very good at photography or maybe filmmaking. Consider your social media accounts as a magnifying glass. Use it as something to magnify your skills and really who you are as a person, what your passions are. When your potential employers look at your social media accounts, they will see somebody who's interesting, somebody who's full of life, who is creative, who's passionate, who's driven. So again, use your social media accounts as a tool to really magnify who you are and how beautiful you are. You might also want to create an account in LinkedIn, in Twitter, and also of course you have Facebook. Bottom line, with these social media accounts, be mindful of the messages that you are communicating. So there you go guys, the 5 tips on how you can start preparing for your dream job. You know what, truth to tell, I really like talking about flying because again, it is a job that I really love. So if you like contents like this, if you want me to talk about tips or whatever it is that you want me to talk about, please let me know by commenting down below and I will be more than happy to make these kinds of contents for you. And with that, thank you very much for watching. Take care and stay safe. I'll see you again in my next video. Bye!